arkadaşlar başlıyoruz. Peki bu meslek sektörü aldıklarından so why should an entrepreneur AdColony
Hello everyone, welcome to DigitalBox. I'm Betül. I'm a senior account manager at AdColony, and my main region is actually South Africa. So today we are going to talk about how did COVID-19 affect South African market. Today our guest is Elan. He's joining us from Johannesburg. Hello Elan. Could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Elan Tanur. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa, and I've been in media since 2012. Initially started off in the direct marketing space and have been with AdColony since the beginning of 2018.
Let's start. First of all, how did this epidemic affect South Africa in general?
Sure, so South Africa's actually been in lockdown, I think today's 90 or 91 days. I think Italy and Spain are the only countries that have been in lockdown longer than us. And it's been tough. The first 5 or 6 weeks, South Africa was in stage 5 lockdown, and it had a huge, massive impact on the economy. They banned the sale of alcohol. They've still to today, they've banned the sale of tobacco. They've closed all QSR restaurants, normal restaurants as well. They've closed beauty salons, hairdressers, motor dealerships. I think motor dealerships came back into operation a couple of weeks down the line, but mainly only for services and stuff. So yeah, it had a huge impact on the economy. Petrol stations, obviously, because people weren't driving far, and you were able to do shopping. They advised to do the shopping like once or twice a week. So yeah, I think all industries pretty much took an absolute bloodbath in the first couple of weeks.
So from the first moment of this pandemic, how was your approach to this issue as a sales team, and what were your first actions you took to be able to manage this crisis?
Sure. It was very different to what we used to, but we realized that we had to respond and react as quickly as possible. From spending most of our days at our agencies and at our clients, we were forced to completely change, having all of our meetings on Microsoft Teams and Zoom, and yeah, we were forced to just adapt immediately. We weren't able to go out with our clients and catch up over breakfasts and lunches, so we ended up having Zoom meetings, and then from a more social perspective, we would have drinks over Zoom. We had a couple of cook-offs with our clients where food was delivered to their houses and we would cook with them. We had a couple of South African rugby players who we would have a Q&A session with them, and our clients and us were able to ask these guys questions, and it's been great, but at the same time, very, very new territory for us because it's something that we've never really been used to.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been really challenging. So are you guys back in the office now? How does it work at the moment?
Yeah, so we are back at the office, only a few of us. It's been cool. I mean, obviously we still aren't able to go to our clients and to the agencies, but it's nice to just be around people and bouncing ideas off each other, as for the first 5 or 6 weeks we were homebound, and as salespeople it's quite an unknown environment to be in, and so I never thought I would say it, but I was really excited to come back to the office, and it's been awesome since we've been here. We're still obviously having a lot of meetings on Zoom and Microsoft Teams, but it's just nice to be in contact with other human beings.
So let's talk about the mobile world in a bit. So in your opinion, how did this epidemic affect the mobile world and especially mobile games in our case so far?
So I think mobile's probably been one of the few media platforms that haven't been affected compared to other platforms. I think most of us struggle to admit, but we're obsessed with our phones. So from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to bed, it's usually the first thing that you do and the last thing that you do. So I think also with people working from home a lot of the time, time spent on mobile has definitely increased. Actually came across some interesting Nielsen's research, which has shown that there's been an increase of 19.8% average time spent in the mobile across mobile, and 24.3% there's been an increase in time spent within mobile gaming. We've also seen an increase in 20.5% in traffic on our platform, and we've had an increase of 4.8% in users that have joined an increase in volume on our platform. And I think it's been an interesting time for brands as well, because there's been various avenues or directions which brands can go in. I think some brands decided to cut all communication, where other brands went for more of a COVID messaging, and other brands continued to push their normal brand messaging, pushing products and promotions. So we've seen, across all different industries, all brands have taken different directions as to where they want to go. But I was reading an interesting, because at the beginning of it, I actually wanted to find out, based on previous articles that have been written. There was an American cereal brand called Post, which was the leading cereal brand in America, and during the 1920s they decided to cut advertising spend, and Kellogg's decided, who were behind them, Kellogg's decided to increase their spend, double their marketing spend. And after the whole Great Depression, they saw that Kellogg's actually they recorded 30% higher profits. And it just shows you that even though brands are going through a lot of adversity, it's important to be advertising during this time.
Yeah, actually you're absolutely right. I need to add some stuff to this as well, because as you said, people were in lockdown, especially in South Africa, and they were looking to be entertained at home. So as you said, we have seen an increased number of mobile game users during this period, and of course this affected our reach positively. However, as you said, some of the clients has applied budget cuts or stopped spending initially. So this caused a shortage on the supply side and a huge increase on the demand side. And as you said, the clients who also spent during this time have benefited from this opportunity hugely. So let's talk about the communication with your customers. So how did this outbreak affect your communication with your clients, and what has been done up to so far, and how was your tone of voice?
So I think it's kind of been answered in a previous question, but it was interesting because a lot of it was like new territory for everyone. We'd be reaching out to the agencies or the clients, and it's not like this has ever happened before, that brands are used to how to react or respond to something like this. So we were kind of all in the struggle together, I guess. And I must say we received a lot of incredible insights and research from our team in Turkey, which we would share with our clients a lot of the time, and it would help them, or more the agencies, and it would help them by giving these insights and research and this research to their clients. It's based on all the updated research and stuff. It helped us, it helped them, and it's been a very interesting time, but hopefully the worst is behind us.
Actually, I think the clients and agencies obviously weren't prepared to a crisis like this. So I think there was a lack of materials and there was a huge confusion about the messaging in the beginning. And for combating this issue, actually, our teams and us proactively created campaign ideas without having an extensive set of creative assets. So also being a global company, we were able to repurpose the different countries' campaigns to each other and show what has been done in other regions and give them some ideas. And also we have assisted the clients who had COVID-related budget cuts in some industries. Instead of canceling the campaigns, we found solutions within their budget frame and then which can work best for them and their purpose. So if they can no longer afford the premium products, we were able to serve them other products that will be beneficial even during these hard times, basically. So I think we assisted them and we supported them instead of being another challenge to them for asking new assets, new set of like campaign details and other stuff like that. So actually that was one of our main strengths during this time. So Elan, which industries do you think are more affected by this pandemic, and what actions were taken for the affected industries?
So I think based on what was actually happening in South Africa, there were certain industries that were affected terribly. The QSR, so the quick service restaurants, normal restaurants, the hospitality industry, so all the hotels, travel, obviously, people weren't able to travel. As I said, the fuel or the gas stations, because people weren't driving much. But pretty much everyone, I mean, the retailers, the retailers were closed for the first 5 weeks. So unless it was, you were going to supermarkets and stuff, all the big malls, all the clothing brands, they were heavily impacted by it. I think of car dealerships, obviously, but I think of the two industries that probably weren't affected nearly as badly and maybe even benefited from COVID were the FMCG, a lot of the FMCG brands, so the personal hygiene or the health products. So yeah, a lot of the pharmaceutical guys, people, I think generally people in South Africa panic when these kind of things happen. So people bought in bulk and they did well. And then I'm just trying to think, obviously the OTT guys, so the likes of Netflix and Showmax and Mnet, people were spending a lot of time at home. So yeah, they were doing really well because people were craving any form of entertainment.
Especially like entertainment, movie is one of them, but people couldn't go to the movies, so they started streaming online. So yeah, we have seen a huge increase on this sector as well. So Elan, what are your plans for the near future and what kind of changes do you plan as this outbreak continues?
So from a work perspective, I think in reality, nothing's really going to change. Most of our clients are going to continue working from home. So yeah, I think the likes of Zoom meetings and MS Teams meetings are going to continue. But from a sales perspective, it's just got to carry on remaining positive and being innovative and remaining top of mind and just having a good energy, and hopefully things will come back to normal in sooner rather than later. Yeah.
I think the key is, as you said, being proactive and being innovative, because as I said earlier, there is a huge demand on everything online that is now. So it's essential to always create new content and being relevant. And also we need to be flexible. We have to monitor the trends really closely on each market and getting insights on industry levels, because as we all said, every market and every industry react different to change. So we have to keep an eye on everything at this point. Elan, what would be your advice to those who work from home during this period? And what are you doing to spend your time more efficiently?
So yeah, my advice would be just to, from a work perspective again, just to remain positive, to stick to a healthy routine. It's really cold in South Africa at the moment, but to get that form of exercise, whatever you prefer, get it done sooner rather than later, because the days generally only get colder. And just to stick to a routine and realize that there are going to be tough days. It's tougher, probably tougher than it usually is. So just remind yourselves that there's many people here that wish that they could be in your position, and just be grateful and just make the most of it. From a personal perspective, I'm very happy that Premier League is back on TV now. It's very awkward with no fans, but better than no Premier League. Very, very excited to be back on the golf course, and just praying that things get back to normal as soon as possible.
Yeah, actually, you are right, because we are one of the luckiest people on earth, because we can do our job wherever we want to. So we don't have to go out physically or do stuff physically. So we can be safe, we can do our job at home. And while doing so, we always need to remember to take breaks for our mental health, because we mainly work alone. It's easy to get caught up work, and sometimes we need to stop and basically give a break from work, and it will of course increase our efficiency very much. And also we need to be efficient in terms of our communication. We maybe need to arrange more calls, and then instead of writing an email, maybe a 2-minute call or video conference. These are the things that will socialize us more than instead of just texting each other. So I think it's easier and faster to solve issues like this. And I think that's all. So thank you, Elan, for joining us today. I hope to see you guys in South Africa maybe soon. Yeah.
Looking forward, and thank you.
Thank you, Elan.
Evet arkadaşlar, başlıyoruz. So why should an entertainment company?
AdColony Sr.